and welcome to Inside the scoutSMART skillSCORE webinar. I'm Diane Bloodworth, the founder and CEO of scoutSMART. We're glad you could join us this morning. Our goal with this webinar is really to help coaches get as many insights into players as they can to make good recruiting decisions to build winning teams. And I have with me today a couple of folks that you may know. First on our team is Veronica Frierson, and V is our digital marketing manager, but also interacts a lot with players to make sure they're getting those complete profiles that are so important to you, and also some of the coaches as well. So V, I don't know if you wanted to say good morning.
Yes, good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here with you. I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you.
Thanks, V. And V will be handling our Q&A this morning. And so if you have any questions as we go through the webinar, just put them into the Q&A channel and she'll make sure that they get answered, time permitting. We also have with us Coach Alex Wheat. And Coach Wheat has played football at the tackle level for D1 schools. Like a lot of us, he's been involved in the recruiting process and kind of recognize that flag football is a growing sport and a huge opportunity. He now coaches flag and trains a number of notable girls in the sport. We added Coach Wheat to our team as our player performance analyst, and he's going to talk today about insights you can get through our skillSCORE. And when we originally developed this skillSCORE, we developed it on the tackle side initially, and we worked with the NFL scout to come up with the skills per position to really make sure that we were looking at what skills were the best predictors of performance. So I'm going to turn it over to Coach Wheat. He's going to share information on scoutSMART and the skillSCORE.
What's up, guys? Good morning. Coach Wheat here. I'll just keep my intro brief. Really, when I first started to do what I'm doing here now with scoutSMART, really the goal was to give these girls an opportunity to know what it means to be truly evaluated. Not just going out playing football and being coached, but really breaking down your skill set, athletic ability, all those different things that are going to essentially, make you kind of consider what your path is as far as a college prospect. So today, what we're going to do is just kind of go through a few profiles that I've looked over and evaluated, have you guys get an inside look at that, see how it looks. But then also, it'll be nice for you guys to see some comparison between different athletes, knowing how they measure up and kind of how those scores compare based on what you see. And the cool thing is we'll kind of get into some things where you may not agree with some of the evaluation that you see here. But it's great because you'll be able to evaluate these players on your own. So I'm going to go in and share my screen really quickly. Give me a second here. And then we'll get going. All right. You guys see that? All right. Okay. So right now I have a profile up. I've already gone in at this point. I have a few prospects on a list that I have, but the more important part is just kind of showing you guys not only the profiles here, but a little bit of how we even go in and evaluate, which I won't go in and do a full evaluation, but I will at least make sure you guys kind of know how the sliders work, how we're rating these girls and things of that nature. So just real quick, most of you who are here have probably seen a scoutSMART profile before. So we won't take too much time, but as you see, very detailed, has a lot of information as far as where these girls are from, who to contact, who their coaches are. Especially this is a girl from McEachern High School, which they are a very pristine program. They're probably going to be one of the profiles that you see over and over from teams where at that point they're very clean, very informative, and have everything that you need. So as we go down, you'll see that we have a skill rating here with the skillSCORE attached, which is a 6.5. We'll talk about the scale in a little bit, but essentially this is just a little bit of what we look at when we're talking about evaluating a player, scoring her based on different skills here, based on the wide receiver position, because this girl is a wide receiver. Now, if we were going to go in and rate this player, what I would do is I would go in here, I would hit rate. Now I've already done the eval, so I won't do the whole thing, but she's a wide receiver. So I would obviously click it there. That way we know once which it'll go in, once we go in, that evaluation will be for her as a wide receiver. Now we know that flag football is for sure a two-way sport, right? So you are able to evaluate more than one position. So just keep that in mind. You don't get locked into just the receiver or just the DB. If they play both ways, you'll be able to evaluate them based on both of those positions. So if we go in here, very user friendly. And really what happens is you just go through each of these skills and it'll have a very detailed description as far as what that skill set really means, what it looks like, what exactly are we evaluating, right? So I can go through, give this person a 6, a 7 based on burst off line of scrimmage when I'm watching the film, and then I can always put any kind of notes in. So no matter what it is, you don't have to do this; it's not mandatory, but it is nice to just add a little note in if you want to just show some detail and kind of justify why you are giving a ranking. Doesn't mean you have to do it for every single skill. I like to explain at least 3 or 4 of the skills to kind of show you guys what I'm talking about, and then leave the skill score kind of to tell the rest of the story. So, as you guys see, for a receiver, there's going to be a ton of different things that we look at: adjusting to the ball, athletic ability, which is going to be for every position. It doesn't matter. Burst off the line of scrimmage. Obviously, hands. How are they catching the ball? Because girls can catch, but are they framing the catch? Is it looking like they're fighting the ball? Is it natural? Are they plucking it out of the air? Those are all the things that we want to look at. We look at long speed as far as just being that deep threat. Obviously, route run is going to be huge. So all these different things that we talk about when it comes to rating these prospects. And this is literally just, I mean, it's very just plug and play, very easy for you guys to use and rank. And then all you do is just go here next and you'll save. I always, always, always would do a player summary, right? So, obviously we just did kind of a fake evaluation. This will not be saved. But you'll look and see, we got a skill score here that has been accumulated. And then at the end, usually I just want to put in a nice 2, 3 sentence, just kind of round up, make sure we know what's going on with this prospect, kind of tell the future of what I think they could become based on development or just some things that I see on film. So it can get very, very detailed, but it's a lot of fun. Like I said, very user friendly. And again, I think it's going to be huge for you coaches who go in and see prospects and want to rate them. And the cool thing is, as a coach, no other coach is going to see your rating for these players. So you might see a really good player. Don't be afraid to rate them, too high because you're thinking somebody might come and poach them. It doesn't work that way. So definitely evaluate them, genuinely and truly, because at that point, you're only going to help yourself as a college coach. So now that we got that out the way, let's watch a little bit of film because I know that's what you guys like to do. And then I already have a skill score for this player. So I'll kind of go in and talk about how I evaluated them, go through some of those skills, and we'll talk about 2 players today, both wide receivers, so that way you guys can kind of compare and see what we're doing as far as those scores to see how I'm grading some of these girls. So this is Desiree, one of my favorite players out of Georgia. She kind of reminds me a little bit of like Kyle Pitts in a way, if you guys follow NFL football. Really tall receiver. She can move well. Really deceptive speed also. And so when I look at her, this is one of the players that I look at and I'm like, hey, if you haven't really got to look at her yet, you definitely want to. So I'll let this run really quickly. And then that was just I like that first clip. There is one more I want to do. I like showing that one because I wish she was a part of her other highlight, but it'll be all good. Let me just, and then we'll go through some ads really quickly, I believe. But yeah, while we're doing that, just quickly, like I said, understand that there are going to be a ton of girls on this platform that we're using, and we're talking about what, over 2,500, I believe, is the last time we looked at that number. So with that, just know you're gonna get some very quality girls from a lot of different places outside of wherever your recruiting area is. So this is why this is also huge because you're gonna have access to a lot of players. I mean, a lot of players. So we'll let this roll really quickly. A few clips here. And she's definitely one of the better players in Georgia, plays at the best program in Georgia. Yeah, very solid player. And the thing I like about her is you can put her in different spots, especially if you got a QB who can throw the ball from the pocket to the sideline. She's definitely a great outside threat as well. But just depending on that offense you're in, her being in the slot is just as effective because I mean she's going to be a mismatch for anybody, as you guys can see. We'll watch a couple more clips, and then we'll talk about her skill score. We'll do the last clip, and then we'll get going. All right, so now we'll get out of there and then go back to her profile and go over her evaluation. And honestly, I will raise my hand right now because I've watched her tape a few more times. I definitely rated her too low. So when you guys see this score, I really think she probably should be closer to a 7. Um, when I first watched her film, her speed to me was kind of deceptive. Her quickness was kind of deceptive. But I kept watching and I'm like, dude, she's making some pretty good moves that a lot of smaller, quicker girls can make from time to time. Um, it takes her a while to get up to speed, but I mean, her long speed, I rated it a little low, but I felt like she does separate the more she gets out of there, which is just hard to see because you don't always get those big plays and flag. But as we go through her score, to me personally, a 6.5 or above pretty much puts you in a pretty good spot as far as being a college ready prospect. I would say the 7 to 9 range is definitely where you want to look at coaches if you're looking for that true college player who you know you don't have to develop. I mean, you always want to develop your players, but you don't have to do too much fine tuning with this one. She may make an impact sooner than later. That 6.5 might need a little coaching. And I think even with a player like Desiree, I think she could be a little bit quicker off the ball. I think she could still be a little more agile side to side. But overall, this is not a girl who I would rate anything less than probably what she is right now. If she's not getting calls from colleges, I think that's just crazy anyway. My rating is not the end all be all, right? And that's just the cool part about this. You guys will have your own ratings. But we'll just kind of go through right here and talk about some of these things. So, adjust to the ball. I did give her a 7. Now, and we'll talk about another receiver that we'll show here in a minute. Like I said, we get to compare and contrast. But I mean, she can make pretty much all the catches. It's just that I can just see as an athlete, her body is not prepared to make some of those catches where she has to contort, catch from behind when she's on the run and things like that. And so I think that's something that she's going to have to work on. As far as just developing her game for that next level, that's a super small fix though. And I'm a wide receiver trainer, so for girls, so I definitely see that part of her game being something that you can fix very quickly. Um, I rated her a 6 for athletic ability, which is like above average, and I think it should be more of a 7, honestly, because at times she does do things that I really don't see other girls do in the open field, especially evading multiple defenders in a very tight space. So again, that's a place where that rating is probably, a little off, as far as her athletic ability goes. But as we look at other things, as far as like her quickness, I don't see her as a super quick player. I think she is about a 5, maybe a 6. Because as you guys saw, there's times where she does get that flag pulled, but she's not really moving that much either as far as just getting out of there in that quick twitch. So the route running was ranked a little low too, just because she's not really running any routes. When I watch film, I like to see girls run multiple routes and not necessarily like the outdoor, the tackle football game per se. But I still would like to see some intermediate, some 5 and in, some 10 and in, some post routes, maybe some post curl, just things like that, where you can definitely run those concepts in 7s for sure, with the right spacing. I just want to make sure a girl like that is just not, basically confined to fades and post routes. I think she could be very dangerous in the middle of the field as well, kind of that tight end, Kyle Pitts kind of player, like I mentioned earlier. And then no matter what, every evaluation will have a skill summary. So just to sum this up, I feel like she needs to be on more people's radars because even I follow her, we follow each other on Instagram. I don't see her getting really too many offers from coaches, and I'm not sure what the deal is. But I think she's definitely somebody that you want to definitely go after if you are looking for a big play receiver. And like I said, I mean, it Kyle Pitts was the first thing I just thought of as soon as I watched her tape, and I'm sticking to that. I mean, I watched his progression as a route runner, especially from college to pro. He made some huge strides considering he's what 6'6", 250 pounds. That's not easy to move that way. And she does create mismatches, I think, on the inside or outside of the field. Um, she's going to be a playmaker in college. I know she does do some other things as far as sports, but these are the girls who I'm hoping will get those big opportunities to play at the next level. So coaches, if you do like somebody like Desiree, definitely reach out. So that's Desiree. We will now go to another favorite of mine, Aaron. So Aaron Boyd is a receiver from here in Florida. She plays in Fort Pierce Central, which is in Port St. Lucie, Florida. Um, Only a sophomore in high school right now, and man, let me tell you, this girl is the real deal. Again, now you look at a skill score, she's at an 8.6, right? Which is significantly higher than what we just looked at. And granted, I can be kind of a hard evaluator at times. But I think when you guys look at Aaron's tape, you guys will kind of see what's going on with that. So let me turn that volume on. There we go. I'll let you guys take a look at this really quickly. If you're looking for just straight speed, explosion, just big play, this is the one. She's going to be in the very far left coming in the screen. And again, this highlight tape, if I had to do it all over again, I definitely would put some of her bigger plays first. But that's also something that we're dealing with. And coaches, you can help these girls just letting them know, hey, we got to put our best plays first. Like we don't want to be sitting here watching a minute of film, waiting for things to pop off. Um, but again, this girl here is, you probably watched the first clip and knew kind of what you were dealing with. And she'll be coming in the screen from the left side. Same thing, coming from the left side again. We'll watch a couple more clips and then we'll go over the eval. Oh, that's it. It's the last clip. So we'll get out of there. So, like I said, Aaron to me is a straight dog, just to be honest. So going down to her skill score, 8.6, right? So, like I said, 9 is the highest you can get. And so pretty much, I mean, she got nines across the board for a lot of the kind of more important things that we look at. Um, I mean, the long speed, to me, she's one of the fastest in the country by far. And I mean, I've seen this girl play in person plenty of times, and I train her as well. By far, I mean, straight dog, right? Quickness is there. Her route running, though, is something that she definitely needs to work on. I will say, as good as she is on those deep passes and those posts and slants, she's not very clean on a lot of other routes. And like again, I work with her, so I know this. The athleticism is there. I think the agility is there, but just connecting the mind and the body, just knowing where to place her feet, using her arms, just coming out of breaks. She does struggle with that, but she's also a sophomore in high school. So I think from that standpoint, she does have some room to grow. And again, her Coach Clemens, who I love, I mean, he has a great quarterback and a really just good system where they can get open on those deep balls. So I can't blame him for taking advantage of what he has on his team. I just want to make sure that when she is considering going to college, she's a well-rounded receiver and can run the whole route tree, whatever that route tree looks like for your flag program. Obviously, the run after the catch is there. The separation is there. I mean, I think for anyone who is looking for a playmaker as a college coach, these are the kind of players that you will find on this platform. Because again, if you got 2,500 girls and growing, you're gonna have some animals on there for sure. So, looking at the skill summary, just flat out, I think this is one of the best players in the country. I don't think it's really a debate. I feel as though at some point there might be an opportunity for her to do some things on the USA football side. I think she's just really young right now and just needs to grow. But I'm hoping by the time she graduates, there will be multiple opportunities for her to continue to play the game, because I think she is going to be someone that has a huge impact and can definitely inspire the kind of, not necessarily the change that we're looking for, but when we see these kind of high quality athletes playing the game, it definitely changes the trajectory of where everything is going and how serious this game gets taken. Because as we know, there's still some rec league, kind of aura around the game. And as we try to be more competitive with this game, we do want to make sure that we are putting those athletes forward, who really love the game and take their development seriously. And I think this is one of the players that you guys will look at when you want to do that. So that's pretty much all I got for you guys as far as comparing, and just kind of looking at those scores and knowing what those mean. And like I said, the coolest part is, you may be like, Coach Weed is insane. This girl's a straight 9 across the board. Go in there and do it. If you got a scoutSMART account, go in there, you rate her. It'll be on your list. You can save. So all you got to do here is hit this star and it'll save to your list. And then you can go in and rate her and she'll be on that list for you. So every time you log into scoutSMART, you'll be able to keep up to date, see if she's put anything new in there. That list is going to be there. It doesn't go anywhere. And it's your world, right? So just understand as we go through this again, what I say is not the end all be all. And that's what makes scoutSMART cool is that now you can go in and evaluate players yourself, which I'm not sure too many other platforms allow you to do that. But I think it's really helpful because at that point, especially if you have a certain way you look at QBs based on the system you run, or maybe you have a rusher who needs to also be versatile and know how to buzz and play different linebacker, things like that. You want to be able to have an eye for that player based on what you see and not what I see. So I'll pass it back to Diane. I appreciate you guys locking in on that. And if you do have any questions, definitely put them in that chat, because we would love to hear what you think.
All right, V, do you see any questions there that we want to put forward?
It says, what if there is an additional skill that I would like to add to a position?
So we allow you to go in and customize what skills you want to include in your evaluations based on your scheme and style of play. But if you do see a new skill, we would have to work with you to add that to the system and understand, how it was going to be used. So it's not quite as easy as just clicking a button on that. What is really easy, and Coach Wheat can tell you this, is you can use the slider bar and say how important each of those skills are to you. So it is very customizable. Good question.
What is the difference between a private evaluation and a public evaluation?
So public. So basically when Coach Wheat goes in and says, hey, I'm going to evaluate this player, that is the skill score that you're going to see no matter what. So in that sense, it is kind of the end all be all as far as what you see for that player's profile, because that is the final stats or skill score for that evaluation. But there's going to be a private option, which I've talked to you guys about, which is kind of like your VIP, right? So as a coach, you can go in and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to evaluate this girl, but I don't need anybody else to see it, which you won't anyway, because that's how it's set up. So at that point, you can evaluate 100 girls. You are going to be the only coach in your program who uses this platform that's going to know who those girls are and what their rating is. So public is what you see when you first get in there, and it's that skill score that you see when you first get in. Private is going to be whatever you do to evaluate that girl, only for your eyes only. Nobody else is going to see that.
It's marked clearly. You may have noticed when Coach Wheat was sharing his screen and sharing those evals, it said Coach Alex Wheat and public evaluation. So they're going to show up in search. Anybody can look at them. But when you do it, only on your own page.
Okay. Next question. Can I recommend players from my recruiting list to be evaluated?
Yes. First of all, if you don't have a scoutSMART account, we'd love to set up a recruiting consulting call with you and really understand, what your recruiting parameters are, what positions you're looking for, what geographic areas. And then certainly we could provide you a couple of examples of what we can do there. As you get your scoutSMART account, again, we'll work with you to provide additional skill evals if there's someone that you'd like an independent evaluation on, and that would require a paid scoutSMART account to do that.
Can I search specifically for evaluated players within scoutSMART?
Okay.
On search, there's not really a filter that says skill score. However, you can search and then you can filter by the scores. So you can do that. But we really have set up search, and this is from working in the tackle world, a lot of different ways. You can search by name, you can search by state, high school, you can search by GPA. If you want to make sure you're going to have girls that are going to be academically eligible or really be able to give them a scholarship. So thanks, Coach. So
Yep.
yeah, so there's all different kinds of ways that you can search. And if you go to the search tab there in the middle, it'll even give you a few more options at the top
Oh, at the
bar.
very top. Okay, I
At the
got you.
very top. Yeah, there we go. It'll even show some more options there that you can search, height, weight, GPA, level of play is not applicable to flag, but there's a lot of different options for you to go in and slice and dice the data. Yeah.
So we'll just do a little real quick,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
teach you guys a little demo real fast. So we'll just do Florida quarterbacks and just see what we get. We'll hit apply filters here and just see what we get to come up. So we probably, I mean, we got a pretty good list. So now if we go over to the skill score, this will let you know which ones have been evaluated based on if they got film or not, if it's good film, bad film. So we know for sure there are 2 QBs on this list, and I know for sure, I say because I know I've evaluated both of these. Ava's a really good player too, if you guys don't know who she is. But yeah, so you'll know for sure if they've been evaluated, because if they don't have a skill score, then that means there's nothing there. So that'll be kind of how you, I guess, filter to see who is evaluation only. So you're able to get through there a little bit quicker. So that was just a little quick example there for you guys.
No, that's perfect. You're going to see some that are more complete than others. And we're all working really hard to make sure these girls provide as complete a profiles as possible with video highlights. It's been a challenge with the video, especially for some of these younger girls.
Correct.
Just know that we have developed a tool called Scout Vision that we're in the process of launching that will allow these girls that if maybe their just mom was on the sideline with an iPhone, we're able to create a highlight video out of that or an Instagram reel. So stay tuned for more information on that. And yes, V, we got time for one more question. Let's go.
Okay. Last question. How long does it take to conduct a skill evaluation?
Honestly, what I say is it's kind of just based on your eye and how much time you want to spend evaluating. It might take you 5 minutes, could take you 10 minutes, 20 minutes, who knows? It's really just based on how detailed you want to be. I think I guess that question probably stems from like how easy is it? Very easy. If that's kind of what the question is getting at. But as far as how much time it's going to take, it's really based on you. But if you want to have a good team, I think the time does not matter. I know you'll probably get in there and do what you got to do to get those girls evaluated. But very user friendly. Shouldn't take you too long at all to get through those profiles.
Awesome. Thanks. I'm going to share just some final information for those on the call. Our contact information is on here for myself, Coach Wheat, Veronica. If you want to reach out to us via email. Also, V does our social media, so you'll see our Instagram and X accounts there. Feel free to DM us, reach out to us. You'll also see some players of the week on our social media that might be of interest to you as well. I did want to point out, we are very committed to the sport of flag football. Our annual subscription for a year is $500. We've tried to make this very affordable because we know you guys are building programs and there's not huge budgets. And right now we're going to be offering a 25% discount. You use the code FLAGFORWARD25. This will start later today and go through the end of the year, which really gets you at $375 a year. And we know you can't do a recruiting trip for $375. And the link to actually subscribe is right down here. Again, reach out to us if you have any questions, or if you aren't sure yet and you'd like to have us walk you through scoutSMART or do that recruiting consultation. We're here to support your team. All right. Anything else? Any final words from our panel?
All good. Appreciate you guys showing up today for sure.
Yes, thanks for being here. We appreciate you. We look forward to working with all of you. Thanks.
Thank you.